For the first time in over a decade, the Wildcats have reached the district championship. Now they come to Starmont High School as the underdog, looking to take down the top-seeded Wapsie Valley Warriors and advance to the sub-state championship on Saturday. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to tonight's presentation of Wildcat Basketball on the Wildcat Sports YouTube page. I'm David Warrington. It's the district championship tonight in Arlington as the Wildcats take on the Warriors. And before we get started tonight, I have to give a big shout out to our sponsor, Heartland Bank. Heartland Bank is a proud supporter of Central City Wildcat Sports. At Heartland Bank, we recognize more than ever the need to support local customers and organizations in our communities. As your community bank, we're here for you. So it is the district championship tonight in Arlington. Starmont High School, the host between Wapsie Valley and Central City. And the Wildcats, as far as me and some of the other folks I was talking to that know Central City well could tell, this is the first time in over a decade that we have been in the district championship game. I've made the semifinals 3 times in my varsity career, but teams I was on never quite made it over the hump, but this team has, and it's very exciting to be able to call a game with a spot in the sub-state final on the line. So let's take a look at tonight's teams. First, your Central City Wildcats. They come in 15-9 on the season, went 9-5 in Tri-Rivers West play. They got their district semifinal victory on Friday against Lisbon. Final there was 58-49. Assistant coach for the Wildcats is John McGovern. Central City's head coach in his first season is Ryan Turner. During his time with the Wildcats, Coach Turner with a record of 15 wins and 9 losses. Taking a look at the players to watch for Central City starts with Makai Benton. The 6'3 junior forward is averaging 15 points per night, leads the team with 6.5 rebounds per game, adds 1.5 assists, a steal, and half a block. Other 2 players to watch are the Klosterman boys. First is the sophomore point guard Matthew Klosterman. Team's leading scorer at 15.5 points per game, 5.5 rebounds as well as 4.5 assists, which is second in the conference, best on the team, and a team leading 2 steals. Matthew's brother Aiden Klosterman is a 5'10 junior starting at a shooting guard, 10.5 points per game for him. Shoots 40% from 3, nearly 90% from the free throw line, is 3rd best in Class 1A. Also averages 3 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal. Now taking a look at tonight's opponent, that is the Wapsie Valley Warriors. The Warriors come into this game with a record of 19 wins and 4 losses on the season. They went 7-1 in conference play in the North Iowa Cedar League East Division. To reach this district championship, the Warriors defeated Nashua Plainfield at home in the district semifinal. Final there was 68-52. Assistant coaches for the Warriors are John Shute, Mitchell Bovers, Jaden Kuth, and Andy Harder. Wapsie Valley's head coach in his 40th season is Marty McEwen. During his time with the Warriors, Coach McEwen with a record of 653 wins and 279 losses. Taking a look at the players to watch for Wapsie Valley, starts with their 5'10 senior point guard Andrew Westfall, 21.5 points per game is best on the team, adds 4 rebounds, a team leading 4 assists, and a team best 2 steals. Also got to watch out for Mason Harder, the big 6'7 senior, is an Upper Iowa football commit. Not too shabby on the basketball floor either, 20.5 points per game, leads the entire state of Iowa with 17.5 rebounds per night, 4 assists, not quite 2 steals, and a team leading 3 blocks. Final player to watch is Casey O'Donnell, the 6'3 senior, averaging 8 points per night, 4 rebounds, 1.5 assists, and not quite 1 steal. Not a whole lot of series history to speak of between these 2 teams. In the varsity-bound era, they've only met up once. That was a district semifinal back on the 20th of February in 2018. That was a game played at West Delaware High School in Manchester, and Wapsie Valley got the victory by a final of 58-36. Speaking of West Delaware, the winner will play there in Manchester coming up on Saturday against presumably Northland, but could be Maquoketa Valley. Speaking of the rest of the bracket, let's take a look at that bracket and how we've gotten to where we are here in the district championship. First in District 6, that is what Central City is in. First round game was on the 10th. 9-seed Starmont went to 8-seed Key, and Key won at 65-35. In the quarterfinals, the 8-seed Key went to 1-seed Wapsie Valley. The Key Hawks led by 10 after a quarter, but the Warriors stormed back and won it comfortably 83-63. 5-seed Nashua Plainfield upset 4-seed Waterloo Christian on the road, 80-63. 7-seed Central Cater gave your second-seeded Wildcats all they could handle, but the Wildcats won it 71-66. And the 6-seed Lisbon upset 3-seed Clayton Ridge. Final there was 46-36. In the semifinals back on the 16th, the Wapsie Valley Warriors hosted 5-seed Nashua Plainfield, winning 68-52. That was a close game for a half before Wapsie Valley pulled away. And 6-seed Lisbon went to 2-seed Central City. Wildcats had a sluggish offensive first half, but really came alive in the 3rd and 4th quarters and got the victory 58-49. So here we are at Starmont tonight in Arlington, Iowa. Wapsie Valley and Central City, the top 2 seeds in this district. The winner of this game will play against either Northland or Maquoketa Valley at West Delaware High School in Manchester, about a half hour from Central City. That is the sub-state final scheduled for this coming Saturday, the 25th. Tip-off will be at 7 o'clock. And the winner of that game will go to the state tournament in Des Moines. Looking to the other side of the bracket, won't go through the entire rundown, but we'll tell you what happened in the semifinals this past Thursday. South Winneshiek, the 4 seed, went to the top seeded Northland Lynx, and Northland got the victory 97-64. And 3 seed Turkey Valley gave 2 seed Maquoketa Valley everything they could handle, but the Wildcats protected their home floor and won it 47-42. So that sets up a district championship at Independence High School tonight of 1 seed Northland taking on 2 seed Maquoketa Valley. Actually went past the Maquoketa Valley bus on my drive over here. They were heading to Independence High School, where they will play Northland. What will be a tall task for the Mac Valley Wildcats for sure. That is a Northland team ranked 2nd in Class 1A, one of the favorites to win the entire state tournament, but they are not there yet. They've got 2 games to win before they even get there. And hopefully the Wildcats will be trying to either stop them or Maquoketa Valley coming up on Saturday. But first, they've got business to attend to here in Arlington. Let's go ahead and meet tonight's starting lineups for this ball game. First up for Wapsie Valley, at a point guard is the 5'10 senior Andrew Westfall. Mentioned he is the leading scorer on the team, 21.5 points per game. That is second best in the NICL East. Also adds 4 rebounds, team leading 4 assists, second in the conference, and is 4th in the conference with 2 steals per night. It's an all-senior starting 5 for Wapsie Valley. The next starter is a 5'9 senior Kane Schmitz. Averages 2.5 points per game, 2.5 rebounds, 1.5 assists, and half a steal. Has started all but 1 game so far this season. Another starter is Casey O'Donnell, averaging 8 points per game, 4 rebounds, 1.5 assists, and half a steal. Hunter Kane also in the starting group, a 6'1 senior, averaging not quite 6 points per game. Shooting it better than 50% from the floor, 56.2. So doesn't shoot all that often, but when he does, he is liable to cash in more times than not. 5 rebounds per game as well, 1.5 assists, and half a steal for Hunter Kane. And rounding out the starting 5, I mentioned Mason Harder, the 6'7 senior, committed to play football for the Peacocks at Upper Iowa. Averages 20.5 points per game, 3rd best in the conference. Leading rebounder in the entire state of Iowa, regardless of class, 17.5 boards per contest. 4 assists, 1.5 steals, and 3 blocks, which is best in the conference. Now flipping the page over, here's a look at the starting group for your Central City Wildcats. First up is the point guard Matthew Klosterman, a 5'10 sophomore, leading scorer on the team, 15.5 points per game. Adds 5.5 rebounds, team leading and second in the conference at 4.5 assists, and a team best 2 steals. Matthew's brother Aiden Klosterman starts at the shooting guard, 5'10 junior, 10.5 points per game, shoots at 40% from 3, and is nearly 90% from the free throw line, 89.7 to be precise. That is 3rd best in Class 1A. Also pitches in 3 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal per night. At a forward is Makai Benton, the 6'3 junior, averaging 15 points per night, leads the team with 6.5 rebounds per game, 1.5 assists, a steal, and half a block. Braden Rickles starts another forward, a 6'1 senior, averaging 5 points per game, 3 rebounds, an assist, and a steal. And rounding out the starting 5 is the man in the middle, Marcus Shellhorn, the big 6'4 senior, averaging 4 points per night, shooting a team best 57% from the floor, adds 5 rebounds, an assist, a steal, and half a block, which is 5th best in the Tri-Rivers West. So that is how both teams will start out tonight. Wildcats going with the same group they went with when they took down Lisbon on Friday. That game was in Central City, and Wapsie Valley also played on their home floor at Wapsie Valley High School. Neither of these teams have played a neutral site or away postseason game, as they received the top 2 seeds. Central City, the 2 seed, Wapsie Valley, the 1 seed, and they both swept their 2 home games to get to this point. So the district championship, 45 seconds away. We will meet the starting lineups. We'll have the anthem, and it will be go time for a spot in the sub-state championship game. Again, that is this coming Saturday, February 25th. Will be played at West Delaware High School. Beautiful gym. Central City's own Matt Weiss is actually the athletic director there, so certainly some Central City ties as well. But first, business to attend to here tonight. A very game Wapsie Valley team looking to end Central City's season. Wildcats certainly the underdog as the 2 seed, but they have every intention of moving on and keeping their season going for at least a few more days. So we'll be meeting the starting lineups here momentarily over the public address system here in Arlington. I see Nick Reed is in the building, one of the all-time Central City greats, the all-time Central City great, in fact, in the sport of basketball. Another Tri-Rivers West, a couple more Tri-Rivers West greats, in fact. The Hilmer boys of Jake and Austin also in attendance. All three of them teammates now at Upper Iowa. Here tonight's starting lineups for the Wildcats. A 5'10 sophomore, number 1, Matthew Klosterman. A 5'10 junior, number 10, Aiden Klosterman. A 6'3 junior, number 23, Makai Benton. A 6'1 senior, number 30, Braden Rickles. And a 6'4 senior, number 34, Marcus Shellhorn. Assistant coach for the Wildcats is John McGovern. First-year head coach is Ryan Turner. There's the starting group for your Wildcats. We'll meet the starters momentarily for Wapsie Valley. A 5'10 senior, number 1, Andrew Westfall. A 5'9 senior, number 5, Kane Schmitz. A 6'3 senior, number 11, Casey O'Donnell. A 6'1 senior, number 13, Hunter Kane. And a 6'7 senior, number 24, Mason Harder. Assistant coach of the Warriors, John Shute, Mitchell Bovers, Jaden Kuth, and Andy Harder. Wapsie Valley's head coach in his 40th season is Marty McEwen. At this time, we will pause for the performance of our national anthem.
Would you please rise, remove your hats, and join in the playing of our national anthem performed by Lane German.
Starters have been introduced. The anthem has been played. All that is left is to play the game. One more time, your starting lineups for the Warriors: Westfall, Schmitz, O'Donnell, Kane, and Harder. For the Wildcats, Klosterman, Benson, Rickles, and Shellhorn. Wapsie Valley wearing their home white uniforms. Wapsie Valley across the chest in gold numerals with black outline with black and gold trim down the sides. Central City wearing their traveling black uniforms. Wildcats across the chest in white numerals with red and white trim down the sides and on the shoulders. Wildcats will work left to right to begin the ball game, as Wapsie Valley will work right to left. 8 minutes are on the clock, and we are set to go. Marcus Shellhorn jumping center alongside Mason Harder. District Championship basketball just about set to get underway. Ball's in the air. Opening tap is controlled by the Warriors, and we are underway. Andrew Westfall working right to left. Has it at the top of the key for Wapsie Valley. Gives it to Schmitz on the right wing, guarded by Matthew Klosterman. Goes inside to Harder, nearly lost the basketball, gets it out of there. As O'Donnell drives in, dumps it down to Harder. It's loose for a moment, goes out of bounds. It'll be last touched by Wapsie Valley. So Central City forces the turnover on their first possession. They will have the basketball. 15 seconds gone, no score here from Starmont High School. Matthew Klosterman bringing it up for Central City. He has it on the right wing, guarded by Schmitz. Swings it over to Rickles, top of the key. Rickles driving right, picks it up. Now gives it over to Benton. Benton dribbling right. Picks up his dribble in the paint. Gives it over to Shellhorn. Now Aiden Klosterman left wing. Aiden finds Rickles. He lost the basketball. Gets it back. Swings it over to Benton. Benton, right wing triple on the way. That's off the rim. No good. Shellhorn with the offensive board and keeps it alive. Matthew Klosterman inside. Puts it up. No good. Really good defense by Mason Harder, and he will run the floor for Wapsie Valley. Swings it over. Three-pointer on the way from O'Donnell. That left wing triples off the mark, and Braden Rickles secures the rebound. Matthew Klosterman up into the front court for Central City. Driving past his defender, stops, spins, now gets it over to Benton on the right wing. Minute gone here, no score from Starmont. Aiden Klosterman fakes the three, dribbling inside, gets to the paint, kicks it back out. Matthew Klosterman lost it, now he goes back and gets it. 15 to shoot for Central City. Matthew Klosterman has it on the right wing, pulls a deep three-pointer, that's off the mark. Marcus Shellhorn gets another offensive rebound, nearly threw it away. Aiden Klosterman saves it, new shot clock for the Wildcats. Matthew driving in, fakes the pass, layup is no good. Again, Harder defensively affected that shot. And now Westfall running for Wapsie Valley. 90 seconds gone, no score here from Arlington. O'Donnell has it on the right wing for Wapsie Valley. Dribbling up top of the key, gives it over to Schmitz. Now swings it to Westfall. He takes a right wing triple. That is off the mark, no good, and Makai Benton secures the rebound. Nearly 2 minutes gone, and we're scoreless in this district championship matchup. Matthew Klosterman into the front court for Central City, walking it up and taking his time. Has it at the top of the key. A set being run by the Wildcats, trying to get an open shot. Inside it goes to Rickles. It's tipped out of bounds by Wapsie Valley as Kane Schmitz got a hand on it. Will stay with the Wildcats. 18 to shoot, 5:56 to play in the opening quarter. Matthew Klosterman will throw it in for Central City on this baseline out-of-bounds play. Does so to Aiden Klosterman. Open three from the right corner. He puts it in. Aiden Klosterman gets the scoring started tonight. The 40% three-point shooter gets an open look from the right corner, knocks it down. Wildcats lead 3-0. Just over 2 minutes gone. Westfall has it, gives it over to O'Donnell. Back to Westfall in the right corner. Goes baseline, gets past Rickles. Now the ball's loose, out of bounds, off of Central City. Will stay with the Warriors. Sideline out of bounds coming up for Wapsie Valley as Westfall will throw it in. He gets it in to O'Donnell. Back to Westfall right wing, uses a screen, driving in. Back out to O'Donnell, fakes a three. Over to Schmitz. He drives in from the left wing. Back to O'Donnell, left wing triple on the way. That's off the mark. The rebound is picked up by Kane, however, and it's taken away. Braden Rickles gets the steal, finds Benton, who gets it back to Matthew Klosterman. Nearly 3 minutes gone in this game. Wildcats leading 3-0 over Wapsie Valley. Matthew Klosterman picks up his dribble, looking around. Gets it over to Shellhorn, short corner on the right side. Right elbow to Rickles. Driving at his defender, layup no good. Rebound is going to be picked up by Rickles, got his own miss. Back to Matthew Klosterman. Matthew stops, throws it up, that is good, and the foul. No, they're going to call a traveling violation. Coach Turner can't believe it, shaking the head in disbelief, but they're going to call a traveling violation, so the shot and one, no good. And it's still 3-0, 3 minutes gone in the game. Westfall swings to Schmitz left wing, puts up a three-pointer. That's off the mark, no good. Rebound Rickles. Benton bringing it up for Central City. He crosses the timeline, has it on the right wing. Gives it over to Matthew Klosterman, top of the key. Guarded by Schmitz out there. Dribbling to his left, uses a screen. Now finds Aiden Klosterman, top of the key, guarded heavily. Aiden driving inside, throws up a layup, and that is going to be a jump ball called, and it will stay with Central City. As first sub of the game is in for Wapsie Valley, Benton Hyde, a 5'9 senior, averaging 1.5 points per game. And for Central City, this is Castor Abernathy making his first appearance of the night, 6'1 junior, averaging 2 points per game. Inbounds pass goes to Shellhorn right corner. They leave him all alone. He puts up a three and he knocks it down. They left Marcus Shellhorn all alone, had all day to put it up, and he puts it in. It's 6-0 Wildcats nearly halfway through the opening quarter. Andrew Westfall with the basketball for Wapsie Valley, over to O'Donnell on the left wing. Swings it to Westfall. He fakes the three, steps in for a long two. That is good. And Warriors are finally on the board. Westfall hits a long two. It's 6-2 Central City. 4 minutes gone in the ball game. Matthew Klosterman into the front court for the Wildcats. Has it right wing. Dribbling in. Fakes it. Gives it over to Abernathy on the left wing. Dribbling to his right now. Hands it off to Shellhorn. Shellhorn driving in. Picks it up on the left elbow. Gives to Benton, but he lost it. It's taken away by O'Donnell. He's running in the full court. His layup is good. Casey O'Donnell gets the layup to go in transition. It's 6-4 Central City. Matthew Klosterman walking it up for the Wildcats. 3:30 to play in the opening quarter. Again, it's 6-4. Wildcats by 2. Matthew gives it over to Aiden Klosterman. Driving to the basket. Gets to the basket. It's blocked by Harder. Soundly rejected by the big 6'7 senior. And Wapsie Valley gets it back with Westfall bringing it up the floor. Westfall has it at the top of the key. Swings it over to Hyde, right back to Westfall. Westfall has Matthew Klosterman on him. Finds Hyde in the left corner, inside to Harder. Back to Hyde, left all alone for a corner three. Just grazes the rim, too strong. Rebound to Abernathy. And Matthew Klosterman brings it up. 3 minutes to play. It's 6-4, Central City. Matthew driving in. Nearly lost it out to Shellhorn. He gives it inside to Aiden Klosterman. They're going to call the foul as Aiden was grabbed as he tried to drive to the basket. And the foul will go on Andrew Westfall. That is his first and the team's first. First foul on either team. As Schmitz is back into the game for Wapsie Valley, replacing Hunter Kane. Matthew Klosterman to throw the baseline out of bounds. Finds Shellhorn in the right corner. Back to Benton, right wing. Inside, Shellhorn finds himself open. Gets it out of there to Abernathy. Three-pointer on the way. That's off the mark. And the rebound is secured by Harder. Way down the floor. Westfall was already down there, and his layup's good. We're tied 6 apiece. 2.5 to go in the opening quarter. As Westfall was all alone down in that end of the floor. Matthew Klosterman has it. Coach Turner calling a set play from the sideline as Matthew picks up his dribble. Gets it over to Aiden Klosterman. Now Shellhorn has it. We got a timeout called. Coach Turner calls a timeout. It'll be a 30-second timeout. First timeout for either side in this game. 2:19 to play in the opening quarter. We are all evened up. Wapsie Valley 6 and Central City 6. So the scoring numbers so far for the Wildcats, Aiden Klosterman and Marcus Shellhorn both have 3, both hit a triple. For Wapsie Valley, Andrew Westfall has 4, and Casey O'Donnell added 2 points for the Warriors. Just one foul on both teams combined so far, and that is on Andrew Westfall. Out of the timeout, Wildcats will have 18 seconds on the shot clock. Here with a little over 2 minutes to play in the opening quarter from Starmont. Wildcats going with the Klostermans, Benton, Shellhorn, and Abernathy. It's the starting group for Wapsie Valley of Westfall, Schmitz, O'Donnell, Kane, and Harder. Matthew Klosterman to throw it in, baseline out of bounds, opportunity for Central City. Inbounds pass will go into Shellhorn on the right elbow, over to Benton. Puts up a mid-range jumper. That's going to be off the mark, and the rebound is fought for and secured by Harder. Down the floor it goes to O'Donnell. Pull-up three-pointer on the way. Puts it in. Casey O'Donnell knocks down a three from the left wing. And Wapsie Valley has their first lead on a 9-0 run. It's 9-6 Warriors. 2 minutes to play in the opening quarter. Matthew Klosterman, nice crossover dribble move. Stops, fakes the jumper, swings it to Abernathy. He gives a fake. Now he hands it off to Matthew Klosterman on the right wing. Dribbling left, goes behind the back. Now it's poked loose and stolen away. O'Donnell got the steal, but it goes out of bounds off of Central City, they're going to say. And it will go to Wapsie Valley. For the Wildcats, we've got Jaden Hansen into the game for the first time, as well as Dayton Price. Hansen, a 5'11 junior, averaging 2.5 points. Price, a 6-foot junior, at 3 points per game. Westfall into the front court for Wapsie Valley. Minute 35 to play, opening quarter, 9-6 Wapsie Valley. Schmitz goes back to Westfall, top of the key. High post to Harder. He drives in, pulls up for a jumper. That's going to be too strong off the back iron, but it's rebounded by O'Donnell. His putback's no good, and Dayton Price secures the rebound. Matthew Klosterman running for Central City. Now he slows up, has it left wing, gives it to Benson. He thought about a three, now he's going to look the floor over. Swings to Price in the left elbow. He drives to the basket, stops inside, gets it out of there to Benton. Nearly lost the basketball, but his layup is good. Makai Benton quickly recovered, got the ball, and put it in. Wildcats back within 1, 9-8, a minute to go in the opening quarter. Westfall into the front court for Wapsie Valley. Goes high post to Harder. Inside, it's poked loose and taken away. Hansen poked it, and Makai Benton got the steal. Wildcats, with 50 seconds to play in the opening quarter, have the basketball trailing 9-8. As Matthew Klosterman drives to the basket. Kicks it over to Aiden Klosterman. Right corner, three on the way. Off the mark, no good, and Harder secures the rebound. Way down the floor, was looking for Westfall, but Benton takes it away. Another turnover by Wapsie Valley. And the Wildcats can almost hold for one here, maybe a 2 or 3 second difference between the shot and game clock. 25 on the shot clock, now it's down to 25 on the game clock. Not much difference as Benton has the basketball top of the key. Fakes the handoff, thought about a very deep three, now he's going to look the floor over and dribble around. 15 seconds to play, but 12 to shoot. Matthew Klosterman has it back, guarded by Westfall. Matthew gives a head fake, stops, pull-up jumper from the free throw line is good. Matthew Klosterman gets his first basket of the game. 5 seconds, Westfall down the floor. Straight on, triple on the way is good. And Andrew Westfall gives Wapsie Valley the lead to end the quarter. After a quarter of play here from Starmont High School, it is Wapsie Valley 12 and Central City 10. take a look at those first quarter scoring numbers for Central City. They were led by Marcus Shellhorn and Aiden Klosterman, both with 3. Mackay Benton had 2, and Matthew Klosterman also had 2. For Wapsie Valley, it's been Andrew Westfall doing the majority of their work. He's got 7, and Casey O'Donnell's added in 5. That is the 12 points from Wapsie Valley so far. No fouls on Central City so far, just one on Wapsie Valley. That was called on Andrew Westfall. It'll be Warrior basketball to begin the second quarter, as again they do lead 12-10 after a quarter of play. Warning horn sounds. Both teams have 15 seconds to get back on the floor. Wapsie Valley didn't sub a whole lot in the opening quarter. They've got their starters out there. Westfall, Schmitz, O'Donnell, Kane, and Harder for Central City. It is also the starting group of the Klostermans, Benton, Rickles, and Shellhorn. Mac Valley basketball first, as Schmitz will throw it into Westfall, working right to left. And we are underway here in quarter number 2. Wapsie Valley, leading 12-10. Schmitz has it now back to Westfall, top of the key. Has a double team of both Klostermans on him, picks up his dribble, in some trouble. Finds Schmitz, now inside to Harder. He goes through, turns around, that's good. Good post move by Mason Harder. He gets his first basket of the game, and it's 14-10 Wapsie Valley. Matthew Klosterman walking it up for Central City, crossing into the front court, has it at the top of the key. Gives it over to Shellhorn, left wing. Fakes the pass. Now looking over the floor, back to Benton, left wing. Handoff goes to Klosterman, 22 to shoot. Klosterman driving in, stops in the paint, back out to Aiden Klosterman. Fakes a 3. Now he looks to get downhill. And they're going to get a foul as Aiden Klosterman was driving in. Wapsie Valley called for their second. Foul will be charged on Andrew Westfall, and that's big. That is his second for the leading scorer on this team for Wapsie Valley. As new entrant into the ballgame is Trayton Sauerbray, and he will replace Westfall, who leaves with 2 fouls. 14-10 Wapsie Valley, 7:19 to go in the second quarter. Matthew Klosterman to inbound. Does so to Marcus Shellhorn on the left wing. He gives it over to Benton. He's dribbling right, uses the screen. Pull up, free throw line, jumper is good for Mackay Benton. His second bucket, he's got 4 points, and it's 14-12. Wildcats back within a pair. O'Donnell running the point guard position now for Wapsie Valley with Westfall on the bench. Has it at the half-court logo here at Starmont High School. Goes right elbow to Harder, steps through, takes one dribble, throws it up. That's no good. Great box out by Shellhorn, and he gets the foul as well. Maybe a reach or an over the back, either way. Mason Harder just picked up a foul. At least it appeared, and that is the case. Get the indication from the official. It's his first and the team's third. A little over a minute gone here in the second quarter, 14-12 Wapsie Valley. Full court press now in effect from the Warriors as Aiden Klosterman takes the inbounds pass down the floor to Mackay Benton. Had numbers, didn't take it. Aiden Klosterman wide open, 3 is off the mark. Rickles gets the backside rebound, takes a dribble, puts it back up. That's no good, and the rebound is pulled in by Harder. Way down the floor to O'Donnell. He lays it up, no good, but they're going to get a foul on Mackay Benton. That is his first and the team's first. Wapsie Valley loves to go that football-like pass way down the floor after a rebound. And because of that this time, O'Donnell will get a couple of free throws. Casey O'Donnell, a 65% free throw shooter for the Warriors, averages 8 points per game. Already has 5 here tonight, and he will shoot 2. First one on the way is no good, rattles out. He'll get one more as Schmitz is out of the game for Wapsie Valley, replaced by Benton Hyde. 6:37 to play in the second quarter, 14-12 Warriors by 2. Here from Arlington as the second free throw is on the way from O'Donnell. He misses both, and Mackay Benton secures the rebound, but they're going to get a jump ball, as they're going to say Harder also had possession of it, but the possession arrow does favor Central City. Braden Rickles to throw it in. Gets it into Matthew Klosterman against something of a full court press. Not a ton of pressure being applied. Matthew takes it himself and gets it up there, no problem. Now makes his defender fall down almost. Puts up a 3. That's no good, however. Had his defender on skates but could not hit the shot. And now Harder brings it up the floor for Wapsie Valley. He gives it over to O'Donnell at the top of the key. 14-12 Warriors. 2 minutes gone in the second quarter. O'Donnell inside to Harder. He will step through, puts up a layup. It's good, and the foul, and I think Benton just got his second, as he's going to have to come out of the game. Harder with 4 points now. A chance to make it 5. And Mackay Benton just got called for a second foul. Mackay's second, team second, and Dayton Price re-enters the game. That's a tough blow for the Wildcats, as Benton will have to sit down for presumably the majority, if not the rest, of this half. Harder to shoot one, 59% from the line on the season, and he gets it to go. He's got 5 points tonight, as they will put Westfall back in, playing with 2 fouls here for Wapsie Valley. And for Central City, Castor Abernathy re-entered, replacing Braden Rickles. 2 minutes gone here in the second quarter. It's 17-12 Wapsie Valley as the inbounds pass goes to Matthew Klosterman. Matthew bringing it up for Central City. Crosses the timeline, working left to right, has it at the top of the key, over to Shellhorn. Shellhorn swings at Dayton Price, left all alone, takes a three. That's off the front of the rim, however, and rebounded by Harder. He runs the floor for the Warriors. Picks it up in the right elbow, swings it over to Hyde. Now he swings it on the right wing to Sauerbray. Sauerbray driving in, back to O'Donnell. He'll put up a right corner three-pointer. That's off the mark, and Dayton Price secures the rebound. 5.5 to play until halftime as Matthew Klosterman brings it up, crosses over, stops in the paint, over to Price, into the corner to Shellhorn. He puts up a right corner three, but left it short. Tries to get his own rebound, can't do so without stepping on the line. And it goes back to Wapsie Valley. So the Warriors are letting the Central City's post players get as many threes as they want. Marcus hit his first, but the last two from post players have been no good. Westfall has it for the Warriors. Sauerbray takes a corner three-pointer, no good. Good box out on the backside by Castor Abernathy. He secures the rebound. Matthew Klosterman down the floor. Driving inside, stops, pull-up jumper on the way, no good. Rattles out, and Harder secures the rebound. Harder bringing it up for the Warriors. Over to O'Donnell on the right wing. Matthew Klosterman providing the pressure. Now he throws it away, not sure where he was looking for there. Clearly some miscommunication as he threw it to the Central City bench. For the Wildcats, David Munyakazi makes his first appearance, the 6'1 senior. And for Wapsie Valley, also a new player into the game for them as they've got Justice Kelly into the game for the first time. Abernathy to inbound, finds Dayton Price. Dayton looking around, takes a couple dribbles, now sends it back to Matthew Klosterman. Matthew driving in. Spins, nearly lost his footing, takes some contact, but they're not going to get a call, and they're going to say it was not tipped. Coach Turner certainly thought it was tipped, but that's not what the official saw, so we'll go back to Wapsie Valley. 17-12 our score, 4:45 to play until halftime. Wapsie Valley by 5. Warriors with the basketball. Hyde has it in the right corner, inside to Harder. Double teamed in there, swings it over to O'Donnell, top of the key. He drives in, over to Harder, or no, it's Kelly with a three-pointer off the mark. And the rebound is loose. It's going to be off of Wapsie Valley, goes back to Central City. 4.5 to play in the second quarter, 17-12 is our score. With the Wildcats trailing by 5. Inbounds pass goes to Dayton Price. He has it in the front court. Looking for somebody to give the basketball to. Still looking for somewhere to go with it. Finds Munyakazi. He puts up a little jumper. That's going to be no good, but Dayton Price gets the rebound. He tries to go to work. Shot fake, steps through, and they're going to get a traveling violation on the inside. And it goes back to the Warriors. Inbounds pass goes to Westfall. He brings it up for Wapsie Valley. Sends it right back to O'Donnell. O'Donnell into the front court for the Warriors. Guarded by Matthew Klosterman. Uses a screen. Some serious contact. They're not going to call a foul. Matthew just got destroyed, but they're not calling it. As it's going to go out of bounds, apparently off of Central City. Matthew had a shoulder rammed right into him. And that, if that's going to be, it has to be something. It has to be either a foul on Matt or a foul. You can't let that go without a call. Somebody's going to get hurt if we're playing basketball like that here tonight. Inbounds pass goes to Hyde. Dumps it down to Harder. Steps through, but they're going to get a foul on that. I believe Munyakazi is going to be called for it. And no, it'll be Dayton Price instead, his first and the team's third, as Jaden Hansen's back into the game. And Jaden will replace Dayton Price. Westfall to throw it in for Wapsie Valley. Inbounds pass, looking around, now throws it into Schmitz on the left wing. Into the corner, Westfall left all alone for a three. Can't get it to go, and Matthew Klosterman steals the rebound away. Way down the floor to Aiden Klosterman. Lost his dribble for a moment, kicks it back out, now loses it again, and it's turned over. Schmitz running for Wapsie Valley, 2-on-1, dump down to Westfall. His floater is good. And Andrew Westfall has 9. It's 19-12 Warriors. Inbounds pass goes to Hansen. Wildcats have not scored for quite a while. Munyakazi's layup is good. David Munyakazi gets the basket to go. And we've got a timeout on the floor called by Coach Turner. He wants a full 60-second timeout. 3:27 to play here in the second quarter. It's Wapsie Valley 19 and Central City 14. Looking at the scoring numbers, for Wapsie Valley first, Westfall has 9. Casey O'Donnell with 5. And Mason Harder also has 5. For Central City, they are led by a variety of players, in fact. Makai Benton is the leading scorer with 4. Marcus Shellhorn and Aiden Klosterman have 3. David Munyakazi and Matthew Klosterman both with 2 points. During this timeout, let's give a shout out to our sponsor, Heartland Bank. Heartland Bank is here to provide the kind of services that keep community in banking. That means we're working with local businesses to provide funding to help them grow and giving guidance and support when you're ready to purchase your first home. Heartland Bank, we're here for you. Again, our score here, Wapsie Valley 19, Central City 14. Coach Turner just used the timeout. He's got 2 fulls and a 30 remaining. Coach McEwen yet to use a timeout for Wapsie Valley. Wildcats have the Klostermans, Hansen, alongside Abernathy and Munyakazi. Warriors going with Westfall, Hyde, Schmitz, Harder, and Kelly. Inbounds pass goes to Hyde against the full court press from the Wildcats. Across the timeline now to Harder. Schmitz has it on the right wing. Picks up his dribble. Swings it over to Westfall, top of the key. Dribbling up, goes across with a crossover dribble. Picks it up at the left elbow. Swings it over to Schmitz, right wing. Inside, Harder going to work in there. Puts it up. That is going to be good. Rolls through the rim. Looked like it was going to fall off, but does not. Harder's got 7. It's 21-14. Wapsie Valley by 7. Hansen finds Munyakazi inside, looking for Hansen. Nearly lost it, but he saves it in the corner. Gives it over to Matthew Klosterman, right wing. Hansen sets the screen. Klosterman goes the other way. Swings it to Abernathy in the left corner. Now Hansen has it left wing. 16 to shoot for Central City as Hansen lays it up, and it's good. Really nice layup there by Jaden Hansen. Driving to the basket, his first basket of the night. It's 21-16 Warriors. Harder against this full court press for Wapsie Valley. Into the front court, gives Westfall right wing. Westfall dribbling left, pulls up. Three-pointer on the way, puts it in. Andrew Westfall knocks down a 3. He's got a dozen. It's 24-16 Wapsie Valley. Matthew Klosterman into the front court for the Wildcats. Has it right wing. Gives it over to Hansen right corner. Driving baseline. Picks it up. Dumps it down. Munyakazi has it blocked. His floater was blocked by Harder. Now Sauerbrey picks it up. Gives it over to Westfall, and they're going to get a foul on Matthew Klosterman. Trying to prevent an easy drive to the basket. That's Matthew's first. Team's 4th. And for Wapsie Valley, 2 starters are back in. Casey O'Donnell and Hunter Kane. As it is the starting group back out there for Wapsie Valley. For Central City, Lucas Greif makes his first appearance of the game. 5'8" senior, averaging 1.5 points per night. Braden Rickles also back into the game as Aiden Klosterman and David Munyakazi get a rest for Central City. We've got a timeout called by Coach McEwen of the Warriors. It's a 30-second timeout, 1:59 to play until halftime. It is Wapsie Valley 24 and Central City 16. Just a 30-second timeout called. Here's an updated look at your foul numbers. The Wildcats have 4, 1 on Matthew Klosterman, another on Dayton Price, and 2 on Makai Benton, who has not played since picking up his early second quarter. For Wapsie Valley, Andrew Westfall has 2, Mason Harder has 1, 3 fouls on the Warriors. Wildcats break their huddle back onto the floor, going with Rickles, Hansen, Greif, Abernathy, and Matthew Klosterman. Wapsie Valley basketball out of the timeout, and they will have it right in front of the Wildcat bench. Inbounds pass goes to Westfall. Westfall dribbling to his right, has it at the top of the key. Looking over the floor, picks it up, guarded by Greif closely, steps back, sends it into Harder. Rickles tips it, but it's picked up by Harder. He goes up, and that's going to be no good. Gets his own miss, however, his putback is good. Harder gets the layup to go. Unfortunately, Central City just doesn't have an answer for that height. He's 6'7", and the tallest Wildcat on the floor at the moment is about 6'1". Greif has it left wing for Central City. It's 26-16 Wapsie Valley. Rickles, floater is blocked by Harder. Westfall running the floor, has it poked loose. Greif started the play, and Hansen comes up with a steal. Matthew Klosterman down the floor for Central City. He goes to the basket, throws it up. That's going to be good. Matthew Klosterman gets the friendly roll off the rim. He's got 4. It's 26-18. Warriors leading here with 1:10 to go until halftime. Westfall has it top of the key for Wapsie Valley. Picks it up, swings it right wing to O'Donnell. Inside Harder. He goes up. That is good once again. He's got 11. It's 28-18. Wapsie Valley by 10. Greif into the front court for Central City. Over to Rickles left wing. Swings it to Matthew Klosterman. And they're going to get a traveling violation on Matthew Klosterman. He can't believe it. Coach Turner can't believe it. But it goes back to Wapsie Valley. I'd need to see a replay, but live I did not see anything that would indicate a travel. But we will play on. 28-18 our score, 45 seconds in the half. Kelly back into the game for Wapsie Valley as Casey O'Donnell brings it up the floor. O'Donnell into the front court. Gives it to Harder on the right elbow. Swings it over to Hyde. Now O'Donnell with the basketball, brings it out top of the key. 32 seconds until halftime with 17 to shoot for Wapsie Valley. Harder has it at the free throw line in the paint. Swings it over to O'Donnell. Left wing triple on the way. That's going to be off the mark. And David Munyakazi gets the rebound. Greif down the floor. Has it left wing. Now retreats back out. Shot clock off. 15 seconds until the end of the opening half of play. Matthew Klosman with 10 seconds. Has it at the top of the key. Matthew picks it up. Steps through. Finds Munyakazi. Back to Matthew Klosterman. Double team on him. Drives in. Throws up a wild shot from the paint. No good. Harder with the rebound. Chucks at the length of the floor. Comes up wide right. Now we'll do it for the opening half of play here from Arlington. After 2 quarters of play, our score, Wapsie Valley 28 and Central City 18. So the Warriors lead by 10 here at the halfway point of tonight's matchup. We'll go over the scoring numbers here. For Wapsie Valley first, they were led by Andrew Westfall. He had 12 points, while Mason Harder pitched in 11. Westfall did his work early, and then Harder did most of the work in the second quarter. Also had Casey O'Donnell pitch in 5 early points for Wapsie Valley. For Central City, they were led by both Makai Benton and Matthew Klosterman, both with 4. Nobody scored more than 4 in the opening quarter. Also for Central City, Marcus Shellhorn and Aiden Klosterman had 3. Jaden Hansen and David Munyakazi, both with 2 points. Looking at the foul numbers, not too much to report. Both teams do have 1 key player with 2, though. Andrew Westfall had 2. He played much of the second quarter, but managed to avoid a third. And Mason Harder has 1 foul for Wapsie Valley. For Central City, both Matthew Klosterman as well as Dayton Price have 1. The big story was Makai Benton picked up 2 fairly early on in the second quarter. And Coach Turner did not have him play anymore in the rest of the second half, and that is when the lead really started to stretch for Wapsie Valley. And again, they lead by 10 here at the halfway point of this ball game. Our score, Wapsie Valley 28 and Central City 18. Let's go ahead and give a shout out to our sponsor, Heartland Bank. Well, we got some time here. At Heartland Bank, the strength of our bank lies in the relationships to give meaning to our work. At all times, we remain focused on what we do best, operating as a dependable community bank and delivering on our personal service commitment. Go Central City Wildcats. As always, a big thank you to our sole sponsor of these Wildcat sports broadcasts, Heartland Bank. Could not provide you with coverage of Wildcat basketball, football, volleyball, all throughout the fall and winter without their outstanding support. Of course, located on Main Street in Central City with a handful of other locations around the state. I actually have one in Cedar Falls, not too far from my apartment, which was nice when somebody got into my debit card. Just a quick drive over to the bank, was able to get that figured out. 7:40 on the halftime clock here. Do have plenty of alums here in attendance this evening, as we've got Gage Westfall down there, former Central City player, Marshall Vandevet, Ethan Ty, Keegan Kula in attendance. Nick Reed also in attendance, of course, Central City's all-time leading scorer, a 2,000-point scorer in his career. Now a starter on a conference champion Upper Iowa Peacocks men's basketball team. Handful of other Peacock players over there with Reed, including 2 all-time greats from North Lynn High School, Jake and Austin Hilmer. Jake, the starting point guard for the Peacocks, and Austin in his freshman season also on the team. So a little under 7 minutes until we play second half basketball here from Starmont High School. It's a gym the Wildcats did play in already this season, this neutral site gym. The Wildcats are, of course, in the same conference as Starmont, both members of the Tri-Rivers West Division. So the Wildcats did come here earlier this year, back in mid-January. Actually, it was not a particularly well-played game for Central City. Did beat a poor Starmont team, but was a bit closer than they likely would have preferred. Do trail by 10 here at the halfway point in this matchup, and certainly will have to play a better second half of basketball if they want to come back and keep their season alive for a few more days, heading into a likely meeting with North Lynn on Saturday for the winner of this game over at West Delaware High School in Manchester. Has been assigned by the state as the neutral location for that game. North Lynn and Mac Valley are in action at the moment. They are playing at Independence High School this evening. Not too far from where I sit here in Arlington. Of course, North Lynn a heavy favorite in that one, as they are in pretty much every game. Last I saw, I believe North Lynn was ranked second among Class 1A behind Grandview Christian. Most recent update I can find says 17-8 North Lynn after a quarter of play over there at Independence High School. That update came 16 minutes ago, courtesy of Dawson Freeze, found on Twitter from the Dyersville commercial, so thank you to him for having that update available for people to find. 28-18 again our score here at halftime. The winner of this game will likely play North Lynn on Saturday. That game is a 7 o'clock tip-off. If the Wildcats come back, I will be there this Saturday and provide you with coverage. But while we've got some time, let's go ahead and take a look at how we got here. I went over this in the open, but not everybody was here yet, so let's go ahead and kind of review how we've gotten to this point. So the Wildcats were assigned to Class 1A Substate 3. How it works for Class 1A is there are 8 substates. Within each substate there are 2 districts, so a total of 16 districts. Wildcats are in District 6. First up for District 5 we will look at. In the first round game, 9-seed West Central was at 8-seed Edgewood Colesburg. It was a 71-58 victory for Edco. Then 8-seed Edgewood Colesburg got to go to 1-seed North Lynn in the quarterfinals where the Lynx won 103-24. 5-seed Tripola was at 4-seed South Winneshiek where South Winn got the victory 72-63. 7-seed Clarksville played at 2-seed Maquoketa Valley. It was a 65-36 win for Mac Valley. And over in Jackson Junction, 3-seed Turkey Valley held off 6-seed East Buchanan, 48-45. That gave us semifinal matchups between the top 4 seeds. North Lynn took down South Winneshiek 97-64 in Troy Mills, and Turkey Valley, the 3-seed, went to Delhi and gave 2-seed Maquoketa Valley everything they could handle, but the Wildcats came out of there with a victory. Final of 47-42. That sets up tonight's district final at Independence High School between the top-seeded North Lynn Lynx and the second-seeded Maquoketa Valley Wildcats. Those two are both in the Tri-Rivers West, as is Central City, so the third meeting of the year between those two. Rounds 1 and 2 did both go to North Lynn in convincing fashion. In District 6, the first round 9 versus 8 game was the 9-seed Starmont at 8-seed Key. It was a 65-35 victory for Key. In the quarterfinals, 8-seed Key went to 1-seed Wapsie Valley where the Warriors won at 83-63. 5-seed Nashua Plainfield hit the road and upset 4-seed Waterloo Christian 80-63. 7-seed Central Elkader came to 2-seed Central City, and your Wildcats got the win 71-66. And 6-seed Lisbon went to 3-seed Clayton Ridge, where the Lions upset the Eagles by a final of 46-36. In the semifinals one game was on Thursday and the other was on Friday due to a weather postponement, but on Thursday, 1-seed Wapsie Valley took down 5-seed Nashua Plainfield 68-52. And on Friday, 2-seed Central City hosted 6-seed Lisbon and came out victorious 58-49. That sets up tonight's district championship here at Starmont High School between top-seeded Wapsie Valley and second-seeded Central City. And the sub-state championship will be on Friday between the North Lynn Mac Valley winner and the Central City Wapsie Valley winner, 7 o'clock on Saturday at West Delaware High School. Both teams are back on the floor with about 2.5, maybe 2:15 to go until we play third quarter basketball here from Starmont High School in Arlington. Wildcats getting some shots up to my left. Will be critical for them to come out playing some of their best basketball after falling behind by 10 in the opening half. Wapsie Valley's over to my right. Their offense didn't come out super hot, but they picked up some steam with Westfall and Harder both getting going. Their top 2 players both average over 20 a game. 21.5 points, 4 assists, 4 rebounds for Westfall. For Harder, a ridiculous line of 20.5 points, 17.5 assists. 90 seconds to go here. Of course, the loser of this game will have their season ended. And the winner moves on to keep their season alive for at least a few more nights. This is my final year as the voice of Wildcat basketball here on the Wildcat Sports YouTube page, so certainly on a personal level, not just as an alum and rooting on the young Wildcat players, but certainly love to call a couple more games at least one more, but we'll see if the Wildcats can come back and keep the season alive here in the second half. 2 quarters is all that's guaranteed for Central City. They got to play some really good basketball here in the third and fourth quarters. They want to come away with a victory over a strong Wapsie Valley team who leads them 28-18 as we get set to play second half basketball. 40 seconds on the clock. Both teams are over on their bench. Central City's first-year head coach Ryan Turner talking to his guys, as is 40th-year head coach Marty McEwen for Wapsie Valley. Quite the tenured coach for Wapsie Valley in McEwen. 653 wins in his career. As we are set to go here for second half of play. Wildcats going with the Klostermans, Rickles, Benton, and Shellhorn. It'll be Wapsie Valley basketball. First, they work left to right. Wildcats will work right to left in the second half. As the Warriors also going with their starting group of Westfall, Schmitz, O'Donnell, Kane, and Harder. O'Donnell will throw it in for Wapsie Valley. As we wait for the ready to play indication, we have it. Inbounds pass goes to Westfall, and the second half is underway here from Arlington. O'Donnell has it right wing for Wapsie Valley. Swings it high post to Westfall, brings it back right corner, guarded by Benton, who is back into the game after picking up 2 first half fouls. Inside to Harder. He steps through, and his inside shot is good. Harder leads all scorers with 13. It's 30-18. Central City trailing Wapsie Valley, 7.5 to go in the third quarter. Aiden Klosterman right corner, gives it over to Matthew Klosterman, top of the key. Matthew looking over the floor, goes the opposite way of a screen, picks it up right wing, now swings it over to Aiden Klosterman. Aiden to Rickles. Rickles, three-pointer on the way. That is good. Braden Rickles knocks down a much-needed three-pointer. His first basket of the game. 30-21 our score. 7:10 to play in the third quarter, not quite a minute gone. They have not updated the scoreboard, but it should be 30-21 as Harder steps through, puts up a layup. They're going to have a jump ball, alternating possession, favoring Central City. So the Wildcats get it back, trailing by 9, 30-21, a minute gone here in the third quarter. Full court press in effect. Inbounds pass goes to Matthew Klosterman. Matthew bringing it up for Central City. Rickles gives a screen, and Matthew crosses the timeline. Matthew has it at the top of the key. Dribbling left, has it left wing, picks it up, gives it over to Aiden Klosterman. Fakes the three-pointer. Takes a couple dribbles over to Shellhorn in the right corner. Rickles inside, throws up a wild one. That's going to be no good, and Harder secures the rebound for Wapsie Valley. Harder down the floor into the corner to Westfall. On the right side, steps through, dribbles through, puts up a pull-up jumper, rattles out. No good, but the rebound's picked up by Schmitz in the left corner. He puts up a triple. That rattles out, but Harder gets the offensive rebound. His putback is good, and Benton takes a ton of contact, but they're not going to call it, and Harder gets the basket to go. He's got 15. It's 32-21 Wapsie Valley. Matthew Klosterman into the front court for Central City. Has it on the right wing. Dribbling to his left. Swings it over to Shellhorn. Takes a short corner jumper. That is good. Marcus Shellhorn puts in the jumper from 15 feet. He's got 5. 32-23. Wapsie Valley leading Central City. If the Wildcats want to get back into this one, they got to do good work on this end of the floor and string together some stops. As Westfall gets an open three from the corner. That's going to be off the mark, but it's rebounded by Kane. Kane puts it up, and there's going to be a foul, and Kane will go to the free throw line to shoot 2. Wildcats have to rebound defensively as Shellhorn picks up his first foul, team's first of the half. And Kane will shoot 2 on the year. He is at 56% from the free throw line, has yet to score here tonight. First free throw from Kane on the way. That one is good. His first point of the game, 33-23 Wapsie Valley. As Kane will shoot one more. Second one from Kane is on the way. That is too strong off the back iron. Rolls off front of the rim and rebounded by Marcus Shellhorn. Kane goes 1 for 2. It's a 10-point Warrior lead, 33-23. 5.5 to play in the third quarter. Matthew Klosterman driving to the basket, finds some space, lays it up, and he's going to be fouled as Matthew Klosterman earns a couple of free throws. Mason Harder called for his second foul, I believe. That is the case. His second, team's first, and Matthew will shoot 2. Matthew with 4 points so far tonight, a 72% free throw shooter on the season, the sophomore point guard. First one on the way for Matthew Klosterman, and that is going to be short off front of the rim, no good. He will get one more. 5:32 to play in the third quarter. 33-23 Wapsie Valley our score. As Matthew will shoot one more. Second one from the southpaw on the way. He goes 1 for 2, nothing but nylon on the second. He's got 5. It's 33-24 Wapsie Valley. Inbounds pass goes to Westfall. Full court press is not being applied here by Central City. Seem to be in something of an extended 2-3 with some trapping action when possible. Schmitz has the basketball. Goes right wing to O'Donnell, into the corner to Westfall. Westfall brings it up to the right wing. Left all alone for a three-pointer. Too strong, no good, but Schmitz gets the offensive rebound. Keeps it alive, inside to Harder. He goes up and he's fouled by Shellhorn. So he will go to the free throw line to shoot 2. Marcus Shellhorn called for his second, team second. And again, it is Harder shooting 2 for Wapsie Valley. He leads all scorers with 15 points so far tonight. As the first one is perfect, give him 16. As Dayton Price is back into the game for Central City, replacing Braden Rickles. So the Wildcats are going bigger now because they've been getting killed on the offensive glass so far in the second half. So now 3 true posts are in there, Price, Benton, and Shellhorn. As the second free throw is no good, and Makai Benton secures the rebound. It's 34-24, 5 minutes to play in the third quarter, Wapsie Valley by 10. Matthew Klosterman thought about a step back, now dribbles left, gives it over to Aiden Klosterman, top of the key. He drives inside, dumps it down to Price, gives a shot fake, lays it up, but it's blocked, gets his own rebound, steps through, goes back up, that is no good, and it's rebounded by Wapsie Valley. Matthew Klosterman tips it and steals it. It's 3-on-2 Central City. Matthew tries to dump it inside to Benton, but it's taken away. Stolen that time by Kane. Wapsie Valley into the front court. And it's thrown away wildly by Wapsie Valley as one of their players. That was O'Donnell. Lost the basketball and threw it into the first row of the crowd as he will be subbed out, replaced by Benton Hyde. 4.5 minutes to play here in the third quarter. 34-24 our score, with Central City trailing Wapsie Valley by 10. Aiden Klosterman to inbound for Central City. As Aiden inbounds it to Makai Benton in the backcourt, hands it off to Matthew Klosterman. Benton Hyde all over Matthew defensively, was making sure he didn't catch the basketball on the inbounds. Now over to Price, left wing to Benton. Benton inside to Shellhorn. Shellhorn steps through, lost his footing, loses the basketball, going to be called for a travel. Found himself too close to the baseline, lost his control of the ball and turns it over. Back to Wapsie Valley. Nearly halfway through our third quarter. It's 34-24, Warriors by 10 over Central City. Westfall has it top of the key. Dribbling to his left now. Picks up his dribble inside. Harder steps through, lays it up, and the foul is called. I believe Shellhorn just picked up his third. As it'll actually go on Dayton Price. That is Dayton's second. Team's third, it appears. As Harder will shoot 2. Harder with a game-high 16 points so far tonight. As the first one is on the way. That'll be too strong off the back iron. Nearly took a friendly roll, but falls out. And he will get one more. 34-24 Wapsie Valley. 4 minutes to play in the third quarter. Second free throw from Harder is on the way. That one is good. He goes 1 of 2. Give him 17 on the night as the inbounds pass goes to Benton. Benton into the front court for Central City. Has it on the right wing. Stops, pulls up for a very long 2. That's no good, and rebounded by Kane. Benton's heels were on the three-point line. Was nearly a 3, but about a step inside the line, and it was no good regardless. Over to Schmitz, left wing. Back to Westfall in the left corner, driving the baseline, lays it up, no good, and rebounded by Matthew Klosterman. Matthew down the floor into the front court. 3.5 to play here in the third quarter as Matthew spins inside, lays it up, and they're going to call a traveling violation, and the Wildcat fans are on their feet. They can't believe it. I don't know how that was called a travel. He didn't pick up the basketball until he threw it up for the shot attempt, but it's called a traveling violation, and it goes back to Wapsie Valley. 3:35 to play in the third quarter. 35-24 Warriors our score. Westfall into the front court. Gives it over to Hyde on the right wing. Back to Westfall right corner. Thought about a 3. Gives it back. Now Westfall all alone from the right corner for a 3. He drains it. Westfall's got 15. It's 38-24 Wapsie Valley. 3 minutes to play in the third quarter. Matthew Klosterman driving to the basket. Trying to get something going. Stops, pulls up for a jumper. Left it short off front of the rim. No good. Down the floor to Westfall. He thought about a 3. Got Benton in the air. Didn't take the shot. Over to Harder, top of the key. Left corner to Hyde. Hyde gets to the basket, and there's going to be a foul on the inside as Benton Hyde was driving in. We'll see who they got the foul on. It was called on Aiden Klosterman. His first, the team's fourth, as Westfall will throw it in, but not before we have a timeout called by Coach Turner. Full 60-second timeout called by Central City. 2:55 to play in the third quarter. It is Wapsie Valley 38 and Central City 24. It's not a whole lot going Central City's way at the moment. Gotten some unfortunate travel calls and missing some shots, not rebounding very well on the defensive side of things. The end result is a 14-point deficit, 38-24, here in the third quarter. Here's a look at the scoring numbers so far for Wapsie Valley. Mason Harder has 17, Andrew Westfall with 15. Casey O'Donnell has 5, and Hunter Kane has 1. For Central City, they're led by Marcus Shellhorn and Matthew Klosterman, each with 5. Makai Benton has 4, 3 each from Aiden Klosterman and Braden Rickles, 2 from David Munyakazi and Jaden Hansen. Warning horn sounds, and both teams will be back on the floor in a moment. Warriors going with Westfall, Harder, Hyde, O'Donnell, and Trayton Sauerbray into the game. Wildcats with Benton, the Klostermans, Castor Abernathy, and David Munyakazi, both of whom checked in during the previous timeout. Wapsie Valley ball, Westfall to inbound, gets it into Harder. Didn't look like the Wildcats were quite ready for it, and results in a foul called on Munyakazi. His first, team's 5th, and 2 free throws upcoming for Harder. Harder, the game's leading scorer so far with 17 points. As the first free throw is on the way and good, give him 18. 39-24 our score, Wapsie Valley leading Central City. There's one more upcoming for Harder. Second one on the way from Harder. That one is going to rattle out no good. Rebound up for grabs and picked up by Matthew Klosterman. Matthew down the floor into the front court, has the top of the key. Swings it over to Abernathy, left wing, back to Matthew. Dumps it down to Munyakazi on the inside, and David Munyakazi gets the layup to go. He's got 4 points on the night. 39-26 our score. Westfall into the front court for Wapsie Valley. Has it on the right wing. Picks up his dribble. Swings it over to O'Donnell, left wing. Inside, Harder, guarded by Benton. Swings it to Westfall in the right corner. Stops, now dumps it inside to Harder. Steps through, goes up for a layup, and it's good. Mason Harder with 20 points on the night. Him and Westfall really carrying the load for Wapsie Valley as they lead this one. Another turnover there by Central City, taken away by Hyde. Dumped down to Westfall. His layup is good. And Andrew Westfall has 17 points. 2 minutes to play in the third quarter. This one getting out of hand. Wapsie Valley on top of Central City, 43-26, out of the hands of Munyakazi, taken away by Harder. Harder tries to find Westfall, but it's taken by Klosterman. Back to Harder. His layup is good, and the foul. Harder with 22. Matthew Klosterman called for his second. Central City 6th, and Harder will go to the line to shoot one. It's 45-26, Wapsie Valley, as Brady Wise into the game for Central City. 5'9" sophomore, averaging 2 points per game, making his first appearance. He replaces David Munyakazi. One free throw here for Harder. Free throw on the way. That is going to be no good. Rebounded by Wise. Wise goes between the legs, finds Matthew Klosterman, who crosses into the front court. Over to Aiden Klosterman. Now Abernathy puts up a right corner three. That's off the rim, no good. Rebound Harder, way down the floor. Westfall was down there by himself. Gets the layup to go, and Matthew Klosterman is called for a foul as well. Harder has 19. Matthew just got his third. Team 7th. They're already over the limit with 93 seconds to play in the third quarter. Schmidt's back into the game for Sauerbray for Wapsie Valley as Westfall will shoot a free throw. He's a 74% free throw shooter on the year. Shot on the way from Westfall is good. Give him 20 on the night. And the Warriors really pulling away right now, leading 48-26, 90 seconds to go in the third quarter. Aiden Klosterman has it right wing. Nearly throws it away, and he does throw it away. He's trying to get it to Brady Wise. Tries to explain to the official that it was touched by Wapsie Valley, but Doesn't tend to matter too much what the player thinks. Got a timeout on the floor. Coach Turner uses his final 30-second timeout. Minute 22 to play in the third quarter. Wapsie Valley 48 and Central City 26. For Wapsie Valley, they're led by Mason Harder with 22, Andrew Westfall with 20, Casey O'Donnell with 5, and Hunter Kane with 1. For Central City, it is Marcus Shellhorn and Matthew Klosterman, both with 5. Makai Benson and David Munyakazi have 4. Braden Rickles and Aiden Klosterman with 3, and Jaden Hansen with 2. Wildcats back on the floor with Abernathy, Wise, Benton, and the Klostermans. Wapsie Valley basketball as the inbounds pass goes to Westfall. Westfall has it top of the key, pulls up for a straight-on triple, and he knocks it in. Westfall with a game-high 23 points. It's 51-26 Wapsie Valley. A minute to go in the third quarter. As Matthew swings it over to Wise, high post, left elbow to Benton. Poked loose, gets it back, driving in, spins, throws it up. He's fouled, and Benton will go to the line to shoot a pair. As the foul, I believe, will go on Harder, his third. That is the case, his third and the team's second. As Benton will shoot 2 on the year. Benton a 71% free throw shooter. Benton to shoot the first free throw here. First one on the way from Benton, and that is going to rattle in. First one is good. Give him 5 points on the night as Hunter Kane is back in the game for Wapsie Valley, replacing Mason Harder. As Benton will shoot one more. Second one from Benton on the way. That is good. He gets both. Give him 6 on the night. 51-28 our score. Westfall down the floor for Wapsie Valley. Met by Benton right when he crosses the timeline. Now he backs off. Left all alone for a deep 3. Off the mark, no good. Aiden Klosterman rebounds. Finds Benton. 45 seconds on the clock with 30 on the shot clock. As Benton swings it over. Now it's tipped and Benton gets it back. Benton driving the basket. Steps through. Lays it up. No good. Gets his own miss. Put back attempt is blocked. Gets his own miss again. And his third try is the charm. As Benton gets the third attempt, he's got 8 points. 51-30 our score. Shot clock off. 25 seconds until the end of the third quarter. Westfall with the basketball, likely holding for one here. Swing to Hyde, now back to Westfall, just beyond the timeline. Aiden Klosterman pushing up on him, now over to Hyde on the right wing, back to Westfall. 12 seconds on the clock as Westfall dribbles left, guarded by Aiden Klosterman. Westfall, crossover dribble, steps back, nearly lost his footing, now steps through, and they're going to get a foul as Coach Turner is furious. They're going to get a foul on Central City, and that means Westfall will shoot a 1-and-1. Foul is called on Aiden Klosterman, his second, team's 8th. And Westfall will shoot 1-and-1. Coach Turner pleading his case, but Warriors will shoot 1-and-1 here. First one on the way from Westfall is good. He's got 24 on the night. And he will shoot one more. (52-30) our score, 4 seconds to go in the third quarter. Second one from Westfall is up and good. Give them 25 to lead all scorers. 4 seconds on the clock. Abernathy to inbound, finds Matthew Klosterman. 3 seconds for Matthew, down the floor, into the front court, swings to Wise, doesn't know the clock. And that'll do it for the third quarter of play. Wise tried to dribble through and find an open man with half a second left, so that'll be not a scoring opportunity there for Central City to end the third quarter. 1 quarter to go, and Wapsie Valley leads Central City by a score of 53-30. Looking at the scoring numbers through 3 quarters, Andrew Westfall leads all scorers with 25 points. Mason Harder's pitched in 22. 5 from Casey O'Donnell and 1 from Hunter Kane. For Central City, Makai Benton has 8. 5 points each for Matthew Klosterman and Marcus Shellhorn. 4 from David Munyakazi, 3 from Aiden Klosterman and Braden Rickles, and 2 from Jaden Hansen. Let's give a quick shout out to our sponsor, Heartland Bank. Heartland Bank is a proud supporter of Central City Wildcat sports. At Heartland Bank, we recognize more than ever the need to support local customers and organizations in our communities. As your community bank, we are here for you. Heartland Bank, our great sole sponsor of Wildcat Sports broadcasts on the Wildcat Sports YouTube channel. Wildcat basketball to begin the fourth quarter. It's the Klostermans, Benton, Abernathy, and Shellhorn. 53-30 our score with 8 minutes to go in the ball game. Inbounds pass goes to Matthew Klosterman. He brings it into the front court. And the fourth quarter is underway here from Arlington, Benton has the basketball in the paint, lays it up, gets some contact, and he's fouled. Will shoot two. Makai Benton earns his way to the free throw line. Foul goes against Casey O'Donnell, his first, and the team's third. 8 team fouls on Central City, 3 on Wapsie Valley, as Makai Benton will shoot 2. Team best 8 points for Benton so far. As the first free throw is on the way, he puts it in. Give him 9 for the 71% free throw shooter. And now he will shoot one more. Second one from Benton on the way. That one is good as well. Perfect on both, give him 10. First Wildcat into double figures. And it's 53-32 Wapsie Valley. Wildcats in a full court press, trying to make one last gasp here. As that's tipped out of bounds, will go off of Central City, stays with Wapsie Valley. Wildcats going with an aggressive full court press here, looking for steals. That's the only way they're going to get back in this ball game, is forcing some steals and getting some quick buckets. Harder across the timeline to O'Donnell. Warriors break the press. O'Donnell finds Westfall. He has it well beyond the line. O'Donnell, open three from the left corner. He puts it in. O'Donnell gets the basket to go from beyond the three-point line. He's got 8. It's 56-32 Wapsie Valley. Matthew Klosterman driving to the basket. Turns around, finds Abernathy. He puts up a straight-on triple. That's going to rattle out no good. Benton gets shoved to the ground by Harder, and Harder plays on over to Schmitz. Now over to O'Donnell. Left wing triple on the way. That one's going to be no good. Can't go back-to-back. Out of bounds. The rebound is off of Harder, and it goes to Central City. A minute gone here in the fourth quarter. 56-32 our score. Wapsie Valley in control over Central City. Matthew to inbound, does so to Benton. And Benton gives it back to Matthew Klosterman across the timeline into the front court, over to Abernathy left wing. Back to Matthew Klosterman. Benton, right wing triple on the way. That is good. Makai Benton knocks in a 3. He's got 13 points. 56-35 our score. Harder across the timeline to O'Donnell. Now Westfall with the basketball, has it at the top of the key. Taking their time here. O'Donnell left wing inside to Harder. He swings it over to Schmitz. Schmitz gives it back to Westfall left wing. Three-pointer on the way. That's going to be no good. Kane with the offensive rebound. Put back is no good, but Shellhorn came in and fouled him rather blatantly that time. That is Shellhorn's third, team's 9th, and Hunter Kane will shoot 2 free throws, 1 for 2 on the day. That is his only point of the ball game to this point. First one on the way from Kane. That is going to be too strong, no good off the back iron. He'll get one more. 90 seconds gone here in the fourth quarter. 56-35 our score, as Coach McEwen of the Warriors calls a full 60-second timeout. 6:29 to play in the game. It is Wapsie Valley 56 and Central City 35. Here's a look at the scoring numbers for Wapsie Valley. Westfall with 25 to lead all scorers. Harder has added 22. O'Donnell has 8, and Kane has 1. Chance to make it 2 at the line. For Central City, Benton has 13. Matthew Klosterman and Shellhorn with 5. Also have 3 points from Aiden Klosterman as well as Rickles, 4 from Munyakazi, and 2 from Jaden Hansen. Warriors back on the floor first, going with their starting group of Westfall, Schmitz, O'Donnell, Kane, and Harder. Wildcats still have 18 seconds as they now break their huddle. They have Shellhorn, Abernathy, Benton, and the Klosterman brothers out there on the floor. Only one senior on the floor right now for Central City. That is Marcus Shellhorn, joined by 3 juniors and a sophomore. All seniors out there for Wapsie Valley. Certainly a mature group, and they've played like it for the most part tonight. Kane to shoot one more. Missed the first. Has 1 point on the night. Second one on the way from Kane. He gets that one to go. Goes 1 for 2 for the second time. He's got 2 points. And it's 57-35 Wapsie Valley. 6.5 to play. Inbounds pass goes to Aiden Klosterman. Shellhorn into the front court. Looking for a guard. Finds Matthew Klosterman. Matthew driving to the basket. Steps through. Nice move, but his layup's blocked by Harder. He gets the rebound. He brings it up the floor for Wapsie Valley. Has it left wing. Swings it over to O'Donnell, driving the baseline, dumps it down. Westfall wide open on the backside. Beautiful find, and Westfall finishes. That's 27 points for the senior guard, and it's 59-35, 6 minutes to play. Marcus Shellhorn pulls up for a three-pointer. That's going to rattle out just off the mark, and rebounded by Harder way down the floor to O'Donnell. His layup is going to be no good. Rebound by Kane. His putback attempt is no good, and the jump ball is called. Alternating possession arrow favors Wapsie Valley. Benton Hyde back into the game for the Warriors, replacing Schmitz, and David Munyakazi will re-enter for Central City. Munyakazi will replace Marcus Shellhorn. One senior gets another as Shellhorn exits the game. 5:49 to play, 59-35 Wapsie Valley. Inbounds pass goes to Kane. Klosterman pokes it loose. Kane saves it into Westfall. Westfall in the left corner, brings it up towards top of the key. Klosterman pushing out on him, steps through, finds Kane, swings it over to Hyde in the right corner, goes baseline, dumps it down. Kane, shot fake, goes up, his layup's good. Hunter Kane with his first field goal tonight. He's got 4 points. 61-35 our score. Munyakazi pulls up for a left wing triple. That is good. David Munyakazi knocks in his first three-pointer of the year. He's got 7 points. 61-38 our score. 5:15 to play. Down the floor it goes to O'Donnell. Hyde gives it back to O'Donnell. Fakes the three-pointer. Driving in, stops for a pull-up jumper. Perfect on that. O'Donnell joins double figures. He's got 10. 5 minutes to play in the game. It is 63-38. Aiden Klosterman for three off back iron, no good. And rebound O'Donnell way down the floor to Westfall. He pulls up for a right elbow jumper. Off the back iron, no good. And Munyakazi skies up for the rebound. Matthew Klosterman down the floor to Abernathy. Has it along the baseline, over to Munyakazi on the left wing. Driving inside, finds Benton top of the key. Pulls up for a triple. That is off the mark, no good. Munyakazi with the rebound. His putback is no good. Misjudged that one, didn't put enough on it. And it's rebounded by Harder. Harder down the floor to Westfall in the short corner on the left side of the floor. Brings it back to the top of the key, and a weak little reach-in foul is going to be called on Central City. It will go against Matthew Klosterman, his fourth, team's 10th. So it will be 2 free throws coming up for Andrew Westfall, game's leading scorer with 27 points. Could make it 29 here. First one on the way from Westfall. That is good. Give him 28. He has been outstanding here tonight. And now he will shoot one more. 4:22 to play in the fourth. 64-38 Wapsie Valley. Warriors 19-4 on the season. As the second one is on the way, and that is good as well for Westfall. Give them 29. The Warriors all over Central City, especially in the second half. It's 65-38 with a little over 4 minutes to play. Aiden Klosterman right corner. Inside Matthew Klosterman. Trying to work through it, finds Munyakazi. He puts up a triple, but it's blocked by Harder. Just got a fingertip on it, and it's rebounded by Kane. Hyde into the front court for Wapsie Valley. Over to Westfall. Has it at the top of the key, dribbling to his right. Dribbles through, puts up a floater from the paint. No good. Wide right, rebound Aiden Klosterman. Aiden Klosterman has it on the right wing. Fakes the three. Tries to find Benton. Instead, Abernathy picks it up. Abernathy back to Aiden Klosterman. Left alone for a triple. That's off the mark, and it's rebounded by Harder. I can see why he averages 17 boards a game. He has been all over the glass this evening. Westfall has it left wing. 3.5 to play in the game. Westfall dumps it inside to Harder. Steps through. Layup is going to roll on the rim and go through. Mason Harder with 24 points on the night, and it's 67-38. 3:15 left in this Wildcats season as Benton drives in, puts up a layup, no good but the foul, and he will shoot two. Team's fourth foul on Wapsie Valley. It was called on Casey O'Donnell, his second. As Benton will go to the line to shoot two. 3:15 to play, 67-38 Wapsie Valley. First one on the way from Benton, that is perfect. Benton with a team-high 14 points. Jaden Hansen and Lucas Greif into the game for Central City. Matthew Klosterman and Castor Abernathy go to the bench. Here with 3:14 to play. Benton's second free throw upcoming here for Central City. That one on the way is going to be no good. Rebound poked by Munyakazi, but picked up by Hyde. He finds Harder. who will walk it up the floor for the Warriors. Not often in 1A you see a 6'7" kid that can handle the ball up the floor, but Harder is certainly an impressive player, an impressive athlete as well. I mentioned in the open, he will play college football for Upper Iowa. Westfall, step back, now goes between the legs, guarded by Munyakazi. Finds Sauerbrei, steps through, dumps it down inside to Harder. He's double teamed in there, in some trouble, gets rid of it to O'Donnell. O'Donnell brings it up with 4 seconds to shoot. Pull up three is going to be off the front of the rim, no good. Rebound by Lucas Greif. He tracks it down, lost it, and gets it back. Finds Makai Benson. Aiden Klosterman pulls up for a right wing triple. That is going to be off the mark. Jaden Hansen goes over the back, and it goes back to Wapsie Valley. Hansen called for his first foul. Team's already in the double bonus, as there will be 2 free throws upcoming for the Warriors. The fouled player was Trayton Sauerbrei, a 6-foot junior, looking for his first points of the night. He is a 30% free throw shooter, and he will shoot 2. First one on the way is no good from Sauerbrei, as Dayton Price is back into the game for Central City. He will replace Makai Benson. Makai put together one heck of a junior season, possibly exiting for the last time this year with absolutely nothing to be ashamed of. Second free throw, no good. Rebound is picked up by O'Donnell, however, and his putback is good, as Casey O'Donnell has 12 points on the night. 67-39 our score. Greif driving inside, steps through. His layup's no good, however, and Harder picks up the rebound. And we've got a timeout called for subs, as Wapsie Valley will put in their bench. Got Noah Richards into the game for the first time. Also Gabe Mathias entering the floor for the Warriors. Manny Hubner into the game for the first time as well, joined by Ian Bazinski. With the basketball is Justice Kelly, the one player on the floor that has played here tonight. Hubner driving in, picks up his dribble, gets it over to Kelly in the right corner. 2 minutes to go in the game, 69-39 Wapsie Valley. Hubner gets it over, three-pointer on the way is going to be no good. Rebound is poked around and picked up, rebounded by Gabe Mathias. Ball is loose, picked up by Mathias. He gets it over to Bazinski. Bazinski finds Kelly, uses a screen, gets it over to Hubner. Hubner driving in, throws one up, that's no good, and David Munyakazi secures the rebound. Lucas Greif bringing it up for Central City. Has it on the right wing. Gives the high post to Price. Aiden Klosterman, three-pointer on the way. That is good. Aiden Klosterman knocks down a triple, his second of the game. Give him 6 points on the night. Minute 15 to go in the game. 69-42 is our score, as Coach Turner will also empty the bench. A couple of kids making their way over to the scorer's table. Also some mostly bench players in there at the moment. Three-pointer on the way from Kelly is no good. Too strong, just grazed the side of the rim and rebounded by Munyakazi. Aiden Klosterman down the floor. Gives it over to Greif, right wing. Pulls up for a triple. That is no good, off the window and out of bounds, off of Wapsie Valley. Stays with Central City. Nolan Gates and Christopher Greif into the game for Central City, both making their first appearances of the night. Wise also back into the game for Wapsie Valley. We've got Blake Hesse making his first appearance of the ball game, and Tanner Bergman also into the game for the first time tonight. Dayton Price will inbound the basketball for Central City with 56 seconds to go in a very impressive Wildcats season. Wildcats with Wise, Gates, both Greif brothers, as well as Price on the floor. Inbounds pass goes to Lucas Greif in the right corner. Over to Wise, right wing. Pulls up for a triple. That is going to be off the mark, no good. Rebound picked up by Wapsie Valley, but they were out of bounds, so it goes to Central City. Kelly back into the game for the Warriors. Also have Mathias back into the game, replacing Richards and Bazinski. Wildcats at the baseline, out of bounds, 19 to shoot with 50 on the game clock. Inbounds pass goes to Wise, over to Greif in the right wing. This is Lucas, swings it to Christopher Greif, left wing. Back to Nolan Gates, he puts up a corner three. Off the mark, no good. Rebound by Justice Kelly. Kelly into the front court. About a 7-second difference between shot and game clock. Hubner dribbling to his right. Gets to the basket, throws up a layup, and that is good. Manny Hubner with his first basket of the night. 71-42 our score. Greif gives it over to Wise. He pulls up for a triple. That is off the mark. Rebound goes out of bounds. Last touched by Bergman of Wapsie Valley, so it stays with Central City. Shot clock is off. 21 seconds to go in this Wildcat season. Inbounds pass from Price will go to Wise. Swings it over to Christopher Greif. He puts up a triple. That is off the window, no good. Rebound out of bounds, looks like last touch by Price. And it goes back to Wapsie Valley. They can hold it out if they so choose. 15 seconds to go. Shot clock is off. As Kelly brings it up for the Warriors into the front court. Kelly finds Hubner. Gives it over to Hesse. Hesse driving to the basket. First varsity game of the career for the freshman Hesse. Hubner puts up a three. No good. Rebound by Dayton Price. Horn sounds. That'll do it. Our final score, Wapsie Valley 71 and Central City 42. Wapsie Valley just too much here tonight for Central City, and they will move on to Saturday to play likely North Lynn for the right to go to state. We'll have the final numbers here in a moment, but Wapsie Valley advances past Central City. Final of 71-42. Wildcats end their season with a record of 15 wins and 10 losses. We'll have the final scoring numbers here in a moment. As first of all, looking at the victorious Wapsie Valley Warriors, they were led by an outstanding effort from Andrew Westfall. He had 29 points. Mason Harder added in 24. 12 points from Casey O'Donnell, 4 from Hunter Kane, and 2 from Manny Hubner. For Central City, they were led by Makai Benton. He finished with 13 points. Also pitching in some points, David Munyakazi had 7. 5 each from Marcus Shellhorn. And, Aiden Closerman actually had 6. Matthew Closerman did have 5. 3 from Braden Rickles. And 2 points from Jaden Hansen. So with the win, Wapsie Valley improves to 20-4. They will move on to the Sub-State Championship on Saturday. Wish them all the best in that matchup. And Central City ends the season 15-10. But certainly a lot to be proud of for this group. Made the district championship for the first time in over a decade. And certainly had a lot of impressive victories, especially considering this was a 1-win team 2 years ago, a 5-win team last year. Well, they tripled it. 15 wins, nothing to sneeze at, and especially playing in the always tough Tri-Rivers West. Do want to give a big shout out to all 4 of our seniors that gave so much effort throughout their time. First of all, Lucas Greif, who dealt with some injury issues early in his career, always gave absolute effort both in the football field and on the basketball floor. Also one heck of a baseball player. Excited to see how he does coming up this summer. But Lucas, thank you so much for your effort. Wish you nothing but the best coming up in your future endeavors. Also got to give a shout out to Braden Rickles, another senior on this Wildcat team. Rickles worked his way into the starting lineup this year and did a lot of really, really good things for Central City. Such a pest defensively. Was a reliable option down low, getting some quick dump down looks. Certainly thank you to Braden for all your hard work. Wish you nothing but the best as well. Marcus Shellhorn really came into his own this year. He was on that 1-win team in that starting lineup that just really had some serious struggles. Too much youth on that team. Marcus was thrown into the starting group as a sophomore and gave his absolute effort. Came back here as a senior after a really good junior year last year and was absolutely huge for Central City this year. Can't say enough about the defensive effort he gave this season. Seriously one of the keys to this team. Regardless of what he did on the offensive end, anything he did there was just a cherry on top. His defense was one of the keys while the Wildcats won a lot of the games they won this year. And finally, David Munyakazi, got to give a big shout out to him, was the homecoming king back in the fall. A player that always gave absolute effort on the football field, the basketball floor. Great young man, and wish nothing but the best to David as well. Thank you for all your contributions these last several years. 4 great young men leaving this program, but they leave it better than they found it, which is the goal. So thank you so much. Lucas Greif, Braden Rickles, Marcus Shellhorn, David Munyakazi. 4 great years of Wildcat basketball, and wish them absolutely nothing but the best for whatever comes next for them. Before I sign off, do want to say this has been my final Wildcat Sports broadcast, barring something surprising popping up, but I will be graduating from the University of Northern Iowa here in a couple of months in May. Do hope to have some full-time employment lined up. Got some good things going. Nothing official yet, but we'll be working full-time coming up here shortly, and we'll not be able to do these broadcasts any longer, but these past 3 years, after 4 years as a student-athlete, have been nothing short of exceptional, getting to call games for some of my friends from high school, as well as other young men I didn't know quite yet when I was in high school, but have enjoyed following their athletic careers. And certainly can't say thank you enough as well to you, the listener, for tuning in and supporting these Wildcat Sports broadcasts. If we didn't get any listeners and nobody wanted to tune into ball games here on the Wildcat Sports YouTube channel, we wouldn't be able to provide you with them. So thank you for entrusting me to provide you with a picture of the game when you cannot be here yourself. It means more than you will ever know. And I thank you to everybody who helped give me this opportunity to advance my professional career here on the Wildcat Sports YouTube page. And I will certainly miss it and wish nothing but the best of the Wildcats in the years to come. So, folks, that'll do it for tonight again. Final score, 71-42. Wapsie Valley moves on over Central City as they take down the Wildcats here in the district championship. So for one final time, I'm David Warrington saying good night and go Cats.